भगवान श्री योगी रामसूरतकुमार की
जय।
सर्वं योगी रामसूरतकुमारार्पणमस्तु। Thanking Bhagavan heartily for all the gifts of grace we receive day after day after day, all through the day. We shall start today's glimpses of the ocean of grace, the ocean of Leelas, the ocean of compassion, boundless compassion. When the ashram cottages were being built and some of them had been completed, Shri Guruvayya Reddiyar from Tirunelveli, he and his wife used to come for darshan of Bhagavan. Shri Guruvayya Reddiyar, a staunch Vaishnavite, very devoted to Shri Balaji of Tirupati. Mostly he would come to Tiruvannamalai, and then from here, Tirupati is near, he would go there. He had great veneration for Bhagavan. His wife, Ranganayaki, very, very devoted to Bhagavan. So once they had come, they said they were going to stay for 2 days. And Bhagavan called them for a private darshan. And then suddenly Bhagavan said to the then trustee, Shri Mani, this beggar would like somebody to be with this people, this couple. Then Shri Mani said, Saravanan is here, Ashram Saravanan. Originally he started his career as a gardener in the ashram. So Shri Mani recommended Shri Saravanan to be with those people, those 2 days. They were going to be here. And of course, Bhagavan called Saravanan and told him, Thambi, you be with these people as long as they stay here. He said, yes, Bhagavan. And then he started to stay with them just outside the cottage, but ready to run to them for errands if they should call. Shri Guruvayya Reddiyar was very deeply touched by this gesture of Bhagavan, that in the first few times, that is the same day, if he went to the dining hall with his wife, Saravanan was following them. If he went to the stall, and there was Saravanan with them. If they came to Pradhan Mandir, Saravanan was with Shri Guruvayya Reddiyar, ready to attend. And again, if they went for Girivalam, Ashram Girivalam, Saravanan would not leave them. He would follow promptly. And of course, in the beginning, this pleased Shri Guruvayya Reddiyar, that he went around telling everybody, just see Saravanan here with us. Swami has instructed. And you see, he is so devout, following us. See how much concerned Bhagavan is, how great, how gracious, and all that. By the time the evening came, he began to feel a little different. He started to say to Saravanan, Thambi, there is no need to come with us all the time. You please come when we call you. There is no need. Please go back to your work, and we will call you definitely when we need you. Then Saravanan said, no, Bhagavan has said that I should be with you. I should be your bodyguard. So I cannot leave you. I have to be with you. I cannot disobey Bhagavan just to obey someone else. Guruvayya Reddiyar tried to tell him in many ways. It was absolutely unnecessary, no matter what Bhagavan said. But Saravanan was obstinate. He just would not listen to anyone. Such was the devotion Bhagavan commanded. You should have seen how the workers, so many of them, hundreds, 150 people, slogging through the day for the sake of Bhagavan. They were used to slogging and money and this and that. But when they came to the ashram, when they saw how Bhagavan blessed them and how things happened, how things changed for them because of Bhagavan's grace, they began to revere him so much, they began to be devoted to him. They were ready to do any work and for any length of time. And so you see, Saravanan would not budge. And then he was there outside the cottage waiting to be called any time. The next day again it started. If Guruvayya Reddiyar went to the dining hall with his wife Ranganayaki, he would be there. And if it was to the stall, again it was 3 people, not 2. And if he was going to do Girivalam, Guruvayya Reddiyar stopped saying to people that, oh, Saravana has been appointed as our bodyguard. How kind of Bhagavan. Because now he felt that Saravana was a burden. But Saravana was very determined, no matter what the reaction was, he would not disobey Bhagavan. So this went on till evening. But in the meantime, about morning, I think about 11 o'clock or something, Guruvayya Reddiyar escaped from the attention of Saravana. He left his wife in the cottage and he went about some business in the ashram. And because his wife was there inside, Saravana had to be in the cottage, waiting outside. And suddenly, Guruvayya Reddiyar's wife called out desperately. He said, please give me water, water. And Saravana immediately rushed inside and gave her a cup of water. And then she began to feel better after that. She was sweating profusely, clutching her chest in pain. Obviously, it had something to do with her heart. But slowly, all those symptoms subsided and she became normal. By the time the evening came, they were getting ready to go. So Saravana promptly reported to Bhagavan what happened. Now when he brought a cup of water, when Shri Ranganayaki asked desperately for water, after she came back to normal condition, she said, Saravana, I have to thank Bhagavan for your being here with me. You see, for some time, even at home, I had this chest pain. I was so scared to tell my husband because we were planning to come to the ashram. And if I complained of something like this, he would not bring me here. He would leave me there. I so much wanted to see Bhagavan. And so I hid it from him. And you see, I'm very scared to tell him because he would leave me. And now, when I had this attack, thanks to Bhagavan, you are here with me for your timely help. So that is when Saravana understood why Bhagavan kept him there as their bodyguard. Just see, the wife hides something from the husband and manages to come with him for darshan of Bhagavan, but Bhagavan knew. Bhagavan knew every detail about them. And without telling, without revealing anything to her husband or even to herself, Bhagavan arranged for help. When Guruvayya Reddiyar came to know what happened to Srimati Ranganayaki, his wife, needless to say how moved he was. moved to tears. Such is the care, concern and compassion of Bhagavan for his devotees. This reminds me of another incident. Every year, the devotees know already how Ashram would arrange for Kolu. Kolu is arranging the dolls of the deities, the murtis of the deities, in several ladders, wide ladders we have, steps, and all these deities are promptly arranged in certain fashion. And there would be many, many of them, and some of them depicting some scenes from the epics, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, and of course, Bhagavan's life history. And at that time, the whole of Tiruvannamalai would be here in the ashram. The Pradhan Mandir would be almost full. And what was more, people would be spilling out the passages to the gate, and it would continue up to Ramanashram Road. We have heard people say there would be people. So much so, the traffic was stopped. Now, we have amongst the dolls, there is one particular murti of Mariamma. Mariamma is Divine Mother, a certain form of Divine Mother. We have a very beautiful statue of her. And Srimati Vasantha Nachiappan and her husband Dr. Nachiappan would come every year, just one day before the Kolu started, and they would stay for the whole length of the Kolu, the Navarathri celebrations. And every day, Mrs. Vasantha Nachiappan very artistically decorate this Parashakti. The first 3 days, she would be in the form of Parvati, Durga. The next 3 days were meant for Lakshmi. And the third 3 days are meant for Saraswati Devi, the white sari with veena and all that. She would do it so beautifully, so perfectly. Mother Divine would come alive. You have to see it to believe it. And some 2 or 3 years back, when she was walking from her 5th cottage or 6th cottage, she was walking early morning around 3:30 or so. She would come very early to Pradhan Mandir. So on her way from the cottage to the Pradhan Mandir, when she came to the 2nd cottage, suddenly she started to sweat profusely. There was pain in the chest, and she felt dizzy, and suddenly her whole body refused to cooperate with her. She could not take one more step. She just sat down there, one of the steps. And of course, the devotees always chant Bhagavan's name in these moments. And after some time, maybe minutes, a few minutes after, everything became normal. Though she felt a little tired, but she moved on. She wouldn't go back to her cottage. She was not afraid of anything either. She just walked ahead to the Pradhan Mandir, and what was more, she never reported it to anybody. She went about her daily service, seva in the ashram. And again, after 2 or 3 days, this happened once again. Again, she had walked up to some distance, early morning, 3:30, and she started to sweat all of a sudden and felt dizzy, She just sat on one place, chanting Bhagwan's Nama. Within minutes, everything became normal again. And then she walked ahead and without telling anybody, she started to serve. And she was serving as much as she could all through the day. And then, just before she left the previous day, very casually in the course of the conversation, somehow it got revealed to one of us, and then we were alarmed. So Dr. Nachiappan, her husband, had come to pick her up the last day. When we told him that this is what she went through, it's a little alarming. He said it's not a little alarming, it is very much alarming. I think something is wrong with her heart. As soon as we reach Madurai, I will take her to a specialist. And they found out there were blocks up to 95% or something, and then she had to go through open heart surgery. Just imagine 2 heart attacks. It became all right soon, and she was able to manage her service all through the day without telling anybody. People could not even detect that she had had that. Such is the protection we have here in the ashram, the protection given by our very protective Bhagavan. So we see how Bhagavan's compassion expresses itself and protects people. It has been our experience also that if you should happen to fall down anywhere, we feel that we are being protected. It's as though 2 hands of Bhagavan would hold us, so that it's always only the tail end of any such experience, any difficulty that we go through, not only physically, even mentally. There would be protection of Bhagavan, that if it is because of our bad karma, we get only the tail end of it. So that's one thing very special about this. When you take refuge at the holy feet of a great master, always about 75% of your karmic effect will be removed, will be taken away by the Guru. You may have to go through just about 20-25%, but sometimes even that is too much for us, unbearable, that we cry out, we scream, we kick our feet, we kick our foot and cry out, why are you giving me? Why are you testing me like this? Why would you give me this? It's not that Bhagavan, the great master, gives all this. It is our own karmas returning to us to get even with us. But the great masters, what do? They take away a major portion of it and leave only as much as we can bear, which we cannot bear because we don't have the mental preparation for it. So let us all take refuge at the feet of Bhagavan. There is nothing that he cannot do. There is nothing that he does not know. He is ready to rush to our help any moment we call, but call we must. That's very important because there are cases where they could have been saved by Bhagavan, but it was contained by the divine because they did not call. They did not even call. This calling out is necessary for the invocation of grace. So let's invoke Bhagavan's grace with our prayers today. Bhagavan, you know how the whole world is held in the dreadful grip of this virulent virus. Only you can save, you can do something. You are the cosmic controller. Haven't you told us many a time that you control the whole cosmos? This may be happening to us for some reason, for some cleansing, but this has been going on for almost a year now, and time to free us from this predicament, from the pandemic, and return normalcy to the world. We beg you again and again to remove the panic from the hearts of people and to arrest the spread of the disease and to protect all those volunteers who have risked their very life in order to save other lives, fighting